burst available to them between the Gragas, the Lucian, and of course the Wukong. So you're going to have to be respectful here at BLG in the mid-game if you do end up having that Imperial Mandate and Gale Force start here for the Lucian. Could maybe see a Storm Razors as well. We'll have to wait and see has that changed that much on 13-11 in terms of build paths. But the comps are locked and loaded. The teams are ready to go. We are jumping onto the Rift for game 1 of this best of 3. BLG still yet to drop a series, and AL looking to try and rock the boat a little bit as they are struggling just a tad down the bottom end of the standings. We are racing towards the end of the season already. We're only into week 3, but guess what? We only got 5 weeks left of play. We actually have only got quite a few, only a few left in terms of the actual time before we start hitting into playoffs. And
there's 7 weeks.
There. Yeah.
We're in week 3. This is essentially the hump. We're cresting over the middle part of the season, which is a really big deal when we were talking about the schedules. We were talking about looking towards playoffs. Every single win starts to matter that much more, and you don't have a lot of time to start iterating, start coming up with different plans, different strategies for yourselves when you're clamoring for wins.
Far more impactful if I can make these things work. Yagao just don't need to be that far pushed up. He's going low and he is going to go down. A flash away by Xiaohao means that he stays alive. You are getting that isolation damage now. We're seeing a couple of 1v1s, and that's why we're seeing them right now. Great flash from Shun. Keeps him perfectly in position to try and make sure Xiaohao has no escape. And that is a great aggressive start. And already in the bot side, good bubble coming back onto on, so we can't push this any further. And AL, as you said, they're putting a little bit of pressure here on the BLG and saying, we're not going to allow you just have the early game you want.
They are going to need to act very quickly.
They're going to need to respond to this one here. Good bubble, though, straight on the Shun, but he jumps straight back on top of the Lucian, which means that all your damage is gone. And that is Shun popping off in this early game.
And then he started clapping folks, and I was like, all right, maybe he's the real deal here. As we get a replay of this fight between the junglers and the mid lane for these two teams. I mean, Shun is just putting out so much damage. Shout out to Shun for this flash, just heads up.
So well played as well. The fact that he gets his auto attack off before he flashes, and then we can look back straight onto bot side because they have a big ward on the dragon, but they don't have a ward to say that the Yagao and Shun combination is coming. And yeah, without any summoners, you're dead, boys.
They knew that they were here. Like, Xiaohao did just go down earlier this play, so the time in between these two clips is not very long. This was them in a pretty desperate situation.
Lucian out. He's actually feeling aggressive, goes forward with the culling, and actually goes right in with the movement to try and kill off this. Oh, Yagao with the fadeaway Q. Nicely done there. Gets himself a 1v2 kill.
Not too dissimilar to how we've seen a couple of BLG's plays and how they want to find advantages. Good stun onto Jichoyi, and right here, he's waiting for one last spell. He's just too close, burning down to Tibbers. That Q just barely missing onto Yagao.
No longer available to you. Bot lane going to see a little bit of aggression coming in. The lightning crash does come down. Xiaohao coming in, though, means the tidal wave is good. And the double knock-up does secure the kill there for the Lucian bot side. So Elk not quite able to get close enough to the wall, means that he does end up falling down. And AL do get themselves a little bit of a counter kill.
Can't use it in mid lane right now. Let's take a replay as to what happened here. I mean, perfect fog of war from the side of Xiaohao, only showing at the last possible minute, and there's no E from this area anymore, so just a kill.
Yep, no E. We just see an all-out coming out on the top side. A flash forward might be forcing ZDZ. Yeah, I was going to say, ZDZ got to flash away. He gets knocked back on that. He definitely comes out with a kill. They're looking for see if Yagao can go for something now, because the tower is dead. Yeah, Yagao on a bit of a flank, but they can jump onto the Zeri, who has to flash away, already has the barrier popped as well. They're seeing if they can maybe burn down Pin Z, and they will be able to get him. The Lucian is taken so low, but look at this damage that ZDZ is putting in. Bin forces the flash away from the Gnar, but it ends up being a 3-for-1 trade. Nearly seeing Shun get one more. He's so close to going down, but he can't really go for it. He's looking for the resets. He gets the invulnerability. That's why he went in for it, because he knew he could get the resets off of this, and now ZDZ is down. This is a huge play from Shun, taking that dust blade and making absolute massive work of it.
Just fantastic play all around.
I mean, this goes so well for AL as well. Great tidal wave that stops the CC coming out from Yagao. He's got no more stacks. They get onto Elk, and it looks like AL have just gotten themselves a perfect fight.
like right here, I will say AL played the first half of this fight incredibly well, like we were talking about. Just setting up for your AD carry, Jichoyi got so much damage, but as Shun saying, I am not getting out of this fight without a few kills, without putting my team on my back and getting us into a better position than we started here.
I mean, just such a great move there from Shun to recognize I've got the in-target ability. They won't be able to catch me out, and really, really well done there by Shun on this Kha'Zix, who's just kind of going from strength to strength. And we talked about how a Kha'Zix can have such a huge impact if he's given those resets, if he's given time to catch out people isolated and get those kind of, you know, resetting on the leap strike. So wait to see now where they'll go with 4-0-2. There is a dragon spawning in a minute's time, and it's an Infernal Rift. AL not feeling too bad, but 4,000 gold down.
Shun is spotted. Doesn't have
Spotted?
doesn't have the Umbral Glaive to really show the ward there. Shao
They are
going in
turning this
Elk.
fight around. Yeah, 2 people went over the wall, but nobody else followed. So now you got a separated fight. AL, they had it. They knew where everybody was, and they just don't do anything about it. They just kind of separate and find themselves in a horrible position. We will see that the Lucian will be mowed down eventually by Elk, who will eventually pick up that kill. Kha'Zix dies to dominate on this one here. Here's the all-out, not going to land the Q3 like you talked about. Bin looking for it. Meganar coming!
No!
And Meganar is going to be enough. What a massive turn of events in this top lane matchup. 2 solo kills, and Bin on 0 and 2. But immediately, we're going to go for a 4v4 now in this bottom side, or sorry, in the mid lane, as you got Elk trying to see if he can take down PinZ. Does not have flash, and will be going down. That's a 2-for-1 trade. Shun trying to see if he can catch out this Lucian. Should be able to jump on him in a couple of seconds and get the Q down. Nicely done there by BLG. It doesn't matter if Bin is inting his ass off. They've got the team fights in the 4v4.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons, you know, we're saying that they are not infallible. It is Bin that is typically the point of pressure for them that other teams can take advantage of. I was gonna say, if you have a very strong top jungle, you can look to try to maybe assuage that point, try to get into there. But BLG, they're gonna wait for Yagao to spawn, and they're gonna take this Baron. Zhao Hao cannot get here in time to try to go for a smite steal. And it took one fight for BLG, one fight that still looked a little bit sloppy, and they're gonna try to keep you honest. They want you to stay. Hey, look, if you're gonna make a mistake, we are taking this Baron.
I mean, look, as much as I said that Bin is inting, it is.
Oh no, he is.
He is inting, but it's ZDZ definitely playing that one much cooler, and just knowing that he has the damage available to him. So really nicely done there, and Shun just kind of puts himself in a really smart position to say, I'm on a flank with an instant flash Tivers. The burst is insane.
Yagao heard you talking smack. He heard you say, hey, Yagao, step it up, and he's like, all right, man, you got it.
All right, you know what? If Ushin says I gotta do it, I gotta do it.
Exactly. If it was that BP guy, probably not. Probably wouldn't have done it. But if it's for Sheen, you're gonna do it. You're gonna get it.
For the bot side, Bin no longer wants your 1v1. Bin wants this to be a 2v1. Never mind, he wants it to be a 4v1. Everybody is jumping down to ZDZ. You bullied our top laner for too long, ZDZ. He's still not dead yet, but he will eventually fall down. You gotta feel like it will happen, and eventually it does. Haichao from that dragon, but Bin in a 1v4. I mean, you saw what happened to ZDZ in the 1v4. Why did you think you were any different?
Bin giveth and Bin taketh away. Okay,
he's just taking away today.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is part of the ultimate. That is part of the all-out. Yeah, pretty big mistake there coming out from Bin. While they do grab the dragon and stop the soul from anyone's legends, they grabbed 2 turrets. A huge win for them, in my opinion. Hey, we may have not gotten the soul. Not a big deal, as they invested so many resources to play towards this bot side. They tried to pivot into making too many plays, and Billy, I think playing too many different angles, too many spoons, guys, come on.
ZDZ does have a flank. Bin is already used his flash, hasn't gone all out just yet, but still fairly tanky. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Oh, not quite able to land the belly bot, but that one works! Oh. Holy moly, mother of God! That was an insane amount of burst damages. Yagao is just absolutely smurfing with this Annie pick. If it's not the Nico, it's the Annie. My God, what happened?
He is just dropping, look at him, not a care in the world. He's like, Yeah, I'm that guy, okay? I'm your gal, okay? I'm your goat. Put some respect on the name right now. He is one-shotting anybody's Legends bot lane. And they're just going to push onto this inhibitor here. Another turret down. More and more of this damage. I mean, the mid-jungle for BLG are running this game. They do not care. They're like, oh, Elkanon, you didn't get ahead? That's cool. Bin, keep doing your thing, man. Whatever you're doing up top lane does not matter in this matchup. It does. We are here to play.
Of this Annie in the replay and how quick it is, because it's literally the two sides of the same coin. Pin Z goes in with his flash damage, doesn't get anything, and then Yagao gets his, and it's a completely different fight.
I just want to watch this. Shout out to ZDZ, who's putting out a lot of damage and a lot of threat. He is staying in Fog 4. They don't know he's here, so they walk in too late. Flash.
Deleted.
Full
Incinerated,
HP.
if you will.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is why you can blind the Annie. Yeah, he's coming in there. He's going to try and see if he can maybe get something going here, but
He does it again! It's a magic trick.
Interactive gameplay as Yagao now finds ZDZ, who thought he was in a little bit of a fun position, but yeah, that is going to be the Baron for sure.
It's a magic trick at this point. They need a Magician Annie skin where it just poof, disappears. Oh, your 80 carry's gone. This is I definitely feel for Jichoyi, because as a fellow marksman player, there are many a champion in this game that make you disappear the second you make a mistake, and Annie is one of them.
Unbelief, there's no counterplay to a lot of what they do.
Missed?
He just missed. It doesn't matter, because you've got a Tibbers who's very angry, and he's going to be able to slap you down.
There's
so,
Elk.
This is Elk going in, getting everything done for the team. It took a while. It's 32 minutes, a hell of a lot longer than we normally see from BLG, but it looks like they're going to be able to end this game with a W and potentially continue on their winning streak, as they're going to be able to finish off this one and get themselves to a 1-0 advantage.
Consolation prize. ZDZ is building up the Mega Gnar, but like you were saying, this should just be the end of the game here. A flash coming in from Pinzy.
Yeah, oh, nice
Whoa!
Mega Gnar ultimate. Does kill off on but it's flashy. But it doesn't mean anything, unfortunately, as Shun is hop, skip, and a jump to victory. Ends up being 22-11. And that is a 33-minute win here for the side of BLG. Look, it was not a very clean game, but at the end of it all, it's a win's a win's a win.
Do you think we're good? Like, how likely is it we're getting that Gigabit coming back?
I mean, it's hard. It's always hard to say, but I mean,
Yeah.
Jax being one of the bigger picks for this man in his career, of course. I believe it's I think it's like a second or third most played champion. I can have a quick look now. Yes, third most played champion in his career. 57 games, 37 wins, and 20 losses. With this game, he'll bring it up to his second most played, which is going to be the Renekton on 58. And I mean, this guy has done magical things with this pick in the side lanes before. That's why you pick the Gragas into it. It is a very solid kind of, just absorb the pressure kind of laning phase. But we'll have to wait and see how it all unfolds. Both teams are locked and loaded. It is BLG with a 1-0 advantage in this series. AL looked like they had some answers, but not them all in the last test. We'll see if they can come into this particular game a little bit more prepared. Didn't spot them out, and the Viego is here as well. They're going to try and jump in onto him straight away, and they're going to try and burn him down. Welcome to the campfire, as Milio finally gets first blood. Available for Yagao if he wants to go for it. It looks like he does. The flash in. Two men get caught in the trap.
Tracking pretty close to Xiao Hao, but we're just going to jump straight into this replay. Bin was seen here. I think this is a pretty massive mistake positioning-wise from Chichuyi. Why walk into this bottom side? You know that Jax is coming, and it leads to this.
I think he didn't really have a choice, though. I'm going to say it was either walk into Bin or walk into Yagao.
Shun goes in.
Yeah, Shun goes in, and Shun might want to try and run out because he is being assassinated. Double TP. It's going to be the top laner and mid laner of AL and BLG, respectfully. Again, this is why the Kha'Zix is becoming a bit of an issue now in the draft phase, I suppose, because you're having those little small isolated moments. This should put AL onto sole point. No jungler to speak of for BLG, and no way to kind of really force themselves back in on top of this objective means Ocean sole point for them.
There's no turrets for them to play with either, so
they're looking for a TP. Plenty of damage coming down there. Look at this puppy go. They're trying to see if they can get on top of Elk and isolate him out. There's going to be a charm, but he's not dead just yet. Harder trying to see if he can kill him off, but they just have too much. Now Bin, with the stopwatch, keeps the rest of the team engaged. Will end up being traded back, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. No charm from Shun, not quite as practiced on the Ahri as maybe he is certain other champions, but how the hell does Elk not die?
Anyone's Legends come out the worst for that trade, not only giving over 2 kills, but using both of their summoners here. Let's look at a replay of this. I like the idea, punishing this, trying to get Elk in a very difficult position up against this terrain. But like, either Harder just doesn't have enough damage, or right here, ZDZ, because he's in stopwatch, he can't activate the cask.
Oh,
so he's missing out on damage.
That is so unfortunate from ZDZ to save his own life. It meant that the charm going wide ever so slightly. ZDZ doesn't have flash. Gonna have to use that explosive cast to try and catch out the Kog'Maw, who flashes away. They're gonna see if they can take him out, and they will.
Oh.
No stun to be found there for Yagao, but Bin is moving forward with Sean, and the resets are good. Do they have enough damage? That is the question. Not quite able to get the rest of the team, but it's a 1-for-2 trade. Yes, you got the Kog'Maw, but you trade it back in your favor.
Bloated around as we get right into this replay. Shun playing very excellently. Mechanically speaking, just dodging out on a lot of skill shots. And while Elk is kind of just tossed around and unable to have too much fun, the fact that Shun can find these resets, make up for the rest of his team, having some pretty big mechanical failures there, is awesome. This continues that idea that we had thought that this team can really carry from anywhere. Last game, it was Yagao and Shun. Seems like right now, all eyes are on Shun, while Elk is still building his items.
There's a pink now on the back of that pit, but that means that they're not going to see Bin and Sean kind of roaming on. They know that he's here. They're looking for the Kog'Maw, but I don't think you're going to be able to get it. Let's see a TP from Yagao to bring him right back to his own mid lane. Bin and Sean looking to pincer in here, but AL keeping themselves relatively close together. Harder had to flash. He knows he needs that Spirit Rush. ZDZ getting jumped on here, but it's actually Sean who has to go golden. Can they protect their jungler? No, they cannot, is the short answer. Maybe there's a little bit of a trade back, but a double kill comes in from ZDZ. AL will get themselves onto Soul Point. Or I mean, Soul Point. They're on Soul right now. BLG, they're just a bit too scrappy.
Ashin? Are we about to see another upset here for BLG? It's looking very likely with how this game is going. They're moving straight over to the Baron now. And only Elk and On are alive. I mean, Bin pushing out this top side. He's trying to get as much work done as possible. Maybe he tries to overextend for a tier 2, but there's just no avenue for BLG to move in right now.
Oh, they gotta be careful though. ZDZ sitting there off to the side. Do they let this Baron go? I think they do. Yeah, they're kind of backed themselves away. Bin thought about it, but it's just too risky. There's just no way the health bars are low enough on the side of AL. So massive swing of gold brings AL into the forefront of the gold lead. They've got themselves a soul as well. They are looking pretty good to maybe get themselves another game in this best of 3, because again, just Elk getting caught out a little bit. It forces the TP from Yagao, which I actually think is the biggest problem here, because On is able to get away from Harder, and that means that Harder is just, you know, kind of overextended, but he's able to get out with the flash.
I was wondering, I mean, Yagao is just nowhere near this fight. BLG maybe feeling a tiny bit disoriented as to what they should be doing right now, which is, hey, we're grouping, we're going to try and make sure that we're protecting our Kog'Maw, we're getting vision where we can, and staking a claim on jungle entrances. I think the most important one is going to be this Raptors on the red side. It stops them from entering Baron. It controls a large portion of the map as well, entering mid lane. Instead, they say, hey, Yagao and Elk, you're nowhere near in DPS threat range. Let's just have Shun and Bin duke it out amongst the rest of the AL team.
Well, for Xiaohao, but I would take him out just yet. There's going to be a good charm and Spirit Rush from the side of Harder to make sure he does not go down. But while this is happening, you committed members to the top side. That means that mid lane is exposed. Should be able to get back to defend just in time here with Elk and On, but not going to quite really work out for the side of BLG. And you can feel it. They're feeling like they need to go for something a little bit more drastic, a little bit more desperate to make sure they can come out of this on top.
Right now, it seems like they're waiting for Elk to finish this third item, which looks to be a wit's end, making sure that he can stay alive. Bin has his Hull Breaker, recognizing that this game is looking a tiny bit shocked if everything keeps going the way it has. With this Runons, BLG should not be afraid of a mid lane being collapsed, but top lane right now with so many wards, with so many ways for anyone's Legend to jump over this wall, unless they start to put down vision, it can be very scary for them to walk in a fog of war.
Trying to see if they can catch somebody out with harder on a charm, but look at the shred. Gotta be very careful. ZDZ gets himself over the wall. Not quite able to burn any summoners just yet, but Elk's already down so low. These two cannons should be fine to take down the last tier 2 in the top side. And that should be an easy little rotation out for AL. They got a couple of things. It's not a huge swing of pressure, but it's enough for them to get enough kind of, you know, of these towers down and make it harder for the side of BLG to get into their own jungle.
I'll take a 3,500 Baron lead off of that. I feel good about that. 25 seconds means by the time they get back to lane, it is going to be over once they reach the inhibitor, so really no point in doing all that. 2.5 minutes before this dragon. Ashin, this is the only way BLG can get back. Split pushing is not an option right now. The team fights are not going very well. Almost everyone is behind in gold to their counterpart. If they can steal the Elder Dragon, that execute by itself is the great equalizer for these two. But they just can't walk into their own side of the jungle.
Yeah, Baron does get taken away, so they're not going to have that for the moment, at least. Bin looking to maybe be aggressive, but again, what engage do you have? It has to come from Yagao. He has to be on a flank, find a bit of pocket of vision where he's not being spotted out, and maybe BLG have enough damage to maybe burst out the Ahri and the Lucian, but we'll have to wait and see if they can keep Elk alive. That could be another win condition for them, but they really want this final tier 2. Here we go. They're going to try and flash in, try and get on top of this Lucian. He doesn't go down just yet. They threw everything at him, and he still stays alive. Didn't even have to burn his flash because Bin wasn't there. It just feels like, yes, you're going for it, but you need to go as a 5-man unit. You can't be going in 4v5.
Just nothing is working out for BLG, and AL are in prime position. They are in pole position for them to just completely run over the rest of this game. 1.5 minutes before that Elder, they have, even whenever they're taking damage, Ocean Soul is healing them back up. Bin forcing the flash out of a couple members, but a re-engage on the table.
It's difficult, but you can see that AL still need to respect it. This Kog'Maw can do damage. You're so close to a Rabadon's death cap here as well for the Annie. Would love to have that finished up just before this Elder Drake fight. And this game isn't over. This game could just straight up be flipped over who gets the Elder and who doesn't.
Well, we get to take a look at this replay to what happened. I feel bad, obviously, for Shun, but AL just played this so well. The bouncy house castle that Shun had to deal with of Nami ultimate, Gragas ultimate, and then harder with the Ahri. Those these jumps are just so difficult to lock down any member of anyone's Legends, and so they're going to continue to compile that gold lead. 3,000 for them. And this is a roster of fresh faces, some of them from other previous iterations of the roster, but Chichoye coming in and his debut split, having a fantastic performance against one of the best bot lanes here in the LPL.
Oh, there's a good charm onto Elk, which means he's already so low. On has to flash away while Xiaohao keeps chase. They've gotten rid of the Viego. Now they're going to try and kill off the Kog'Maw, and they will do just that. The resets, the hops, the skips, the jumps. AL found their mark. BLG just could not get their Kog'Maw going. They wanted to try and see if the Milio Kog'Maw was worth it, but it shall look like it will be going to a 0-3 scoreline here in the LPL. Xiaohao still trying to see if he can find out where Bin went, but not to be done for the moment, and he's all alone in the world. I don't think Bin can 1v5 as much as he tries.
He's going to be sitting under his Fountain or Nexus turrets here. 15 seconds before Shun is alive. Elk, same thing. AL, they're going to have to push the boundaries here, get really close and intimate with some of these turrets.
Yeah, they're going to try, but already Bin just cannot hold the line. He's going to go into a stopwatch. He had his Zhonya's for the last second, but it's going to send us to a game 3. 6 games in the day. And AL get themselves back on the board. 1-1 now with a scoreline. Of the names on anyone's Legend, and you know, fair few of them from BLG. You're probably thinking, yeah, they got the Jinx, they got the Milio, they got this, but I mean, the way this series is played out, AL have been able to catch out this Elk, you know, AD carry on so many different occasions. They've made their compositions work for how they needed them to get the games to win. For BLG, they need to try and step up just a little bit more, not giving away silly kills or silly objectives in the early stages. And we'll have to wait and see as we are about to jump onto the Rift for the 3rd game of the series, the 6th game of the day and the final game of our broadcast. And we're going to see if BLG can keep their undefeated series streak or if AL can be taking a scalp off at the start of week 3. Does confirm himself the scuttle, but now Shun Maybe wants to go for a move on
they're
the spot
going
side.
to go for this.
No defensive summoners. It's just flashes. They have aggressive summoners here, so they have no heal, no barrier. They're going to look to try and fully dive on top of this one here. They're going to jump straight in on top of the Aphelios. Can they get the damage down? He flashes, and there's the Jinx getting excited. Elk will finally get himself to walk away. A beautiful tanking of the tower there from the BLG bot side.
Is so good when you can get him a little bit more gold. We get to take a look at this dive again. I mean, that's the ghost gone. Both of them saving their flashes, rightfully so. Oh, wait, Chichoji just doesn't have flash anymore. That's a repeat gank waiting to happen.
I mean, it has to be, right? Again, just having that extra range of the extra power, great tanking from everyone involved. And you can see Bin just kind of making the most of this now on the top side, saying, look, I've got to be able to get himself a demolish proc, move himself forward, and he's going to be feeling just fine. Nice little knockback there from the Milio to make sure that he doesn't take as much of a bad trade, but it's still pretty bad. Diana coming down. Xiaohao maybe looking to try and repay the favor. This time around, no flash or heal onto On. Yeah, he's just going to try and maybe confirm this one back. I don't even think they get a plate, though, to be perfectly honest, because it's just not a big enough wave. There's no massive amounts of mana on ZDT, but you got to feel this in your bones now, Bin. You got to know that he's like, hang on, he's not got a huge amount of mana, and he's just walking up to me right now, and he's going to bait out absolutely everything, even the hop. There's the Hexag Ultimatum. This is just beautiful from ZDZ, recognizing the exact amount of time he needed to wait. They're going to get 2 flashes out, but Bin is still going strong. Bin looking to try and move this backwards. He can't kill him. Oh, just about get him with the Crescent Strike. Xiaohao needed to make sure that worked, otherwise Bin would have had egg all over their faces.
Well, I want to see what Shun is able to do with this Herald now, as Xiaohao should be a kill on a Bin.
That is just too damn easy there. You get the Moonfall coming all the way down, and this is just going to become the way it is now, I think, for Bin. Really not respecting the top side of the map at all. Yes, he's ahead on CS, yes, he's a Gnar, but I mean, without flash and without ways of getting away from this Hexag Ultimatum, you just can't go for those kind of aggressive trades. Kraken, I believe.
Oh, yeah, well, there is some front
Reaper
line he's going to be dealing with. ZDZ.
I mean, Bin is in a 1v3.
Okay. All right, observers, this feels mean. This feels mean for BLG
feels
fans.
a little mean.
There's a lot of them in the crowd.
Yeah, it feels a little mean.
Because now ZDZ is a level ahead.
Bin.
Is now going to... this
Bin.
is... Okay, guys, come on.
Come on, guys. He's just a baby. He's just a little boy. This is just not fair. This is bullying, AL. I won't have it.
They show like a cute animal. It's like, this is who you're hurting when you're being mean to someone on the internet. You don't want to do... No, Xiaohao, get away from here.
No, they
They're
know
gonna
he's
make
there.
the dive
He
again.
knows. He knows. He has to know. He's trying to kill away the towers. They're going to jump straight in on top of him. The Hexag Ultimatum, and Pin is all 5 of the deaths. But now can Yagao come back into this one? That's a 1 kill coming back in. Harder looking for this, but the tower's already stacked up. 2 for Yagao, and the bullying of Bin shall be no more. ZDZ flashes in to try and make something happen. Will not get knocked back here. Will get hit by a hell of a lot of artillery, but shall not die. What Elk does in his stead, so not quite sure what happened there, but Elk got caught out on the backside of that play.
Usually when we're talking about Elk, he is just safe by himself. As we get to take a look at this replay, just out of Mega Gnar, tries to clear this wave. It's just painful. I hope we get a replay of what happened in that top side or against Elk, because he is usually one of the safer AD carries. Usually he's playing away from his support, and this time around just gets caught.
Trying to see how he gets caught, because you can see on the minimap he's fine.
Oh, he just Nautilus.
Walks
Okay.
into the Nautilus. Yeah, the minimap unfortunately will go away there. But
There
here it is. Thank you so much, observers. Yeah, just walks in, got caught. That's literally as simple as it gets.
All right, fair enough. Still, a bit of a misposition and a bit of an error here for Elk, who typically isn't one to make one. And Squad, they're stepping up way too far. This pincer maneuver.
This is a big pincer maneuver. They're trying to jump onto Elk, but Elk's gotten himself away for the moment. Will he get some resets? That is the question. Jump straight now onto straight on top of Harder, but Harder hasn't gone all out just yet. They will take out the Maokai. This Jinx is still doing damage. You got to be so careful with how you position yourself, especially with those accelerated shock blasts coming in from the side.
It's Soul Point coming up for BLG, and if I'm them, I'm saying it's worth here. For sure. We used Flash there to kill our Maokai?
I mean, it's definitely a moment there. I don't know why Harder doesn't try and go all out there right on top of Elk, but
yeah,
feels like
that part was a little bit weird. Maybe he wasn't close enough to the wall and it would have just like pinned him up against the wall, but still, like, feels like AL
with these accelerated shock blasts. We are going to see the ultimate come out because they know that Bin is getting into Mega. They're going to throw everything at them now, and they're going to try and take them all out. Massive move there from Bin to say he is no longer the little boy he used to be. There's going to be the Aphelios, though, using the damage. Look at this, Aphelios with the chakrams going in right now. Yagao is massive at the moment, though, as he's trying to see if he can make this one work. It's still the Aphelios alive, but he's just separated from his team. Yagao refuses to let BLG lose this game.
Closer as we check out the replay here. This fight looked good. Bin coming in on this Gnar, he's just saying, look, I'm a team fight champion. I don't care what you did to me in the laning phase, but it's this Chichoyi who just makes sure, yeah, no, we're still here to play as anyone's legend.
Just ridiculous damage there. The combination of the Moonlight Vigil in with the auto attack. The empowered auto attack of the Camille means that the Jinx is no more, but the damage is kind of already done there. You can see there's Xiaohao not having that flash, not really able to kind of move back forward on top of that, and that does mean that Soul Point has been reached here by the side of BLG. They are still only 2,000 gold ahead, but having that 3 dragons in pocket means they can kind of pick and choose when and where they go for a fight. They can pick and choose when and where they want to make something happen.
The Baron, they're going to pull for this Chichoyi, no flash,
Here
no
we go,
ghost.
it's a bit of a flip.
All the way back.
Xiaohao has flash. Can he get into the pit? That's the question. 2,000 down on the health bar. They're going to go in! Xiaohao gets the steal, and they will get everybody else out. He will die, but he will die a hero for AL.
It buys them time, and now with this Baron buff, there is a lot that AL can do. They can start to push back on some of these waves that are stacking against them. BLG, no one there to mark where Xiaohao was. A little bit sloppy coming out from our first place team, and definitely what you do not want to see is a BLG fan, as this is the last game. 1100, 1137 is the last number I saw right there. Xiaohao sacrificing his life, valiantly so, to get his team that Baron.
There you go. Seeing if you can maybe catch out ZDZ. Yeah, they're going to look for him now in the brushes. Not going to catch him out with the ultimate. They don't actually know he's there. Now they do, as he hit him with the accelerated shock blast. He's going to try and get into the X ultimatum, maybe go for a hook shot. Wall shot, can't get away. Doesn't have flash. If they can kill off ZDZ, that Baron power play becomes so less powerful. And that is a big pick now coming in here for the side of BLG.
They need to rush into mid lane, however. 45 seconds before this dragon. It is going to be the Ocean. Billy can drop this objective, but obviously getting a soul for yourself would be nice. They're just going to be coming into the pit very, very late, and instead I think would want to be able to push out these waves, get priority in mid, shove out this bottom wave that Harder is starting to escort. Anyone's Legends, they're starting to crumble a little bit on the edges here, but not quite out of this game yet.
All the side of AL, here we go. They're going to go forward, try and get the steal off of this. No,
get
Dragon
it.
Soul completed. They're going to jump straight onto Elk on the backside. It's when he goes gold and he has that stopwatch used. Now ZDZ trying to see if he can do it. Oh, Xiaohao misses completely from his ultimate. And now Elk trying to put down damage. ZDZ jumps back in with a hook shot, wall shot. And now you can see the rest of BLG are trying to just turn around and burn down these health bars. So much damage that isn't even involved with the Jinx able to be utilized here. And Bin isn't done. He's like, oh, you remember when you bullied me? You remember when you killed me 5 times? I shall chase you down. Will not be able to get any more kills.
Yeah!
But Bin, with a massive ultimate, keeps his team in it, and they get themselves the Ocean Soul.
Yeah, the Ocean Soul as well is now going to push out on multiple different lanes, opening up the inhibitor in mid lane, grabbing a tier 2 in the top lane. BLG feels like they've awoken from a slumber. AL poking the sleeping bear. Well, guess what? Now you got to deal with all the consequences. Are you the honeypot, or are you going to be able to get away from this one? We're going to take a look at it in this replay. Watch Elk as everybody tries to engage. Xiaohao not in position. Even with this Camille flank, just cancels the ultimate, even the Nautilus ult as well.
Yeah, and then Xiaohao goes in. Completely, unfortunately, whiffs the ultimate. And actually, it brings Yagao straight in on top of the Aphelios, and Bin, alongside his mid laner, just jumps at the opportunity to take down the AD carry of AL. And look, I gotta give it to AL. You tried everything. You almost got the perfect fight. Elk wasn't really involved in it. I would love to see the damage numbers come back out after the last fight, because I don't think Elk did a lot at all, but it doesn't matter because Yagao is ridiculous. He's so huge.
Not have their flashes. Shun with this flank.
They're going in for a huge amount of flanking, trying to see if they can take out the tanks before anything really happens, and Elk gets a kill and gets excited. Yagao is the target for the moment from Xiaohao, and on top of the Aphelios, he's trying to turn back this damage. Holy hell, that Jace is fed, even has the GA to keep himself alive for the moment. Jumps back in, brings down the hammer, and Yagao refuses to die. You can kill him once, but you can't kill him twice, and BLG will end this series and continue their unbeaten series run.
Yagao just doesn't care. He says, it's another day in the office, another day on this stage that I'm going to grab myself a win. BLG, they stay undefeated. They silence some haters and some doubters. This series was a little too close for everybody's liking. Anyone's Legends, man, I don't know what to say. I feel bad for them because they came so close to upsetting our first seed.
They got close but no cigar. BLG continuing themselves up to a 5-0 record. Great start here for the MSI runner-ups. The runner-ups of LPL Spring. They are just kind of building themselves up. It wasn't easy. It was a scrappy affair, but this is the thing that separates the good from the great. A good team will lose this series. A great team will battle it out and still come out with a W.